Hey everybody, where have you been? Seems like it's been a while since I've talked to you, but here I am. I'm in Oregon, near Mount Hood. And how did I get here? Well, it's an interesting story. I so I went to Bend for some zero time and R&R, recovery. And then I didn't know what I was going to do after Bend. I knew I was going to go north. I had to head north, skip some of the closure areas and whatnot. But I didn't know what I was going to do until the morning that I was leaving. So I researched it the night before, but I still didn't know for sure what I was going to do. And I decided, okay, I'm going to try to make it up to government camp and hike north from there. And essentially decided to reverse the order that I was hiking Oregon and Washington, because I didn't want to get caught at the end of the hike on the mountain when the snow came, because it's really risky, and they say it's pretty brutal and it can come without warning. So I didn't want to wake up on the mountain with 5 feet of snow and 20 degrees. So I decided to skip a little forward after the closures and the closure area and just hike Washington first and Oregon second. Other than what I started Oregon and I'm ending Oregon. But anyway, so I left Bend. Some other hikers were going to do the same thing or similar, and they scheduled a bus, Amtrak bus or something, to get them up to government. What did I call it? Government town? Government camp. It's weird. It's a weird name for a town. So they scheduled the bus to get to government camp, and I decided I was just going to take my chances hitching, because I wasn't going to take a 7 a.m. bus. That was an easy decision. So I tried hitching, and it took forever. It seems like a couple hours, but then finally a young kid picked me up, Rafe. Thanks, Rafe. And he took me as far north as the next town, which is Redmond. And Redmond, so I got out there, and then rather than hitching right away, I decided to stop and get a bite to eat. And so I got a bite to eat, and meanwhile, while I was eating, I saw that there was a bus that went to the next town, Madras, a free bus. So, and the timing was about right. It was like 2 in the afternoon, so I said, okay, great, I'll just take that bus. It'll get me closer. Won't get me there, but it'll get me closer. So I go to the transit center, and I wait for the bus, and I realized that it was kind of like waiting on a school bus, because it was a city bus, but it was all kids. I felt like I was on a school bus when the bus finally came. It was like 20 some, I don't know, 14-year-olds, 13, 14, 15, I don't know, but and me. So it was kind of funny. But anyway, they drove me up north further, and the bus driver, after everybody unloaded and I was trying to unload, she goes, are you going to Warm Springs? I said, I don't know, what's Warm Springs? She goes, well, it gets you up around government camp. And I didn't know what I was going to do from Madras. I said, well, I guess I'm going to try to hitch. I didn't think there was any more public transportation options. She says, that bus in front of me, it leaves in 2 minutes, and it goes up by government camp. I was like, oh, how lucky. Just my luck. She goes, and she's waiting on you. So apparently she'd called ahead and said that I was a hiker and I was probably going to need to get on that bus. So that was cool. So I got on that bus, and they took me up another, 20 miles. It was still an hour. It was about an hour away, but she took me another 20 miles and dumped me off. And when I got off, a lady in a truck said hi to me or something, asked where I was going, or asked if I was hiking, and I said yes. And she said, well, I can get you as far as the, I forget what she called it, Nini Longhouse or something like that, because it was on the Indian reservation. And I said, okay. She goes, I can't take you all the way up the mountain, but I can get you, it was still another good 20 miles. So it got me a lot closer. I said, sure, I'll take it. Let's go. So she took me, super nice. And as she dropped me off and told me about the area and a place I could stay and camp if I needed to, if I couldn't find a ride, she was pulling out, and then she said, hey, T-Rex. And I looked, and she called me over, and she was waving a scarf out the window, and she handed it to me, and she goes, "I want you to have this. It's my prayer scarf." And so I asked her about it. I said, "Your prayer scarf?" I said, "Okay, will you tell me about it?" And she said, "Yeah, when we have our ceremonies, I pray in this scarf, so it has all my prayers in it, and I want you to have it." So I accepted that, and that's really nice. Really nice of her. So I took the scarf, and she went on, and I tried hitching again for another hour and a half, and finally a guy pulled over. He said, "I'm going as far as Portland. You can go with me anywhere you want." I said, "Well, I'm just going up to government camp." He goes, "Where's that?" And I said, "Well, it's between here and Portland." He said, "Okay, let's go." So everything just worked out. It was great. I mean, that's a lot of, what, four different rides? Yeah. So then when we got closer to government camp, I said, "Well, we could go up to Timberline Lodge. There's two places I could enter, government camp or Timberline Lodge." I said, "Why don't we just try Timberline Lodge?" So we went up there, and he went in, and he's like, "Wow, this is really cool." And so he's going to come back and check it out and ride his bike around the area and stuff like that. So anyway, it's a long story, but it's just how I got to where I am today from Bend. Not much planning and a lot of luck, but it worked out. So now I'm just hiking north. I'm gonna finish up Washington and then finish up Oregon. So seems like there's something else, but that was a lot of information. So I will probably just hang up now, whatever it's called. And if I think of anything else to tell you, I will call you back. So anyway, talk to you later. Bye.